Hi and welcome to WarHQ. My name is Lucious and today what we will be tackling is a competitive Tau kill team roster. So what I have here arrayed before us are some of my Tau. And what I'm going to endeavour to do today is go through, first I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the Tau. Now I've made videos on this before and I'll put a link to that below on a very detailed faction breakdown of the Tau. But for now we're just going to concentrate on this competitive roster. So we'll then go into the roster itself and the 20 positions comprised within it and who takes those spots. We'll then go into 5 variant lists that you'll be able to use in your kill team event, or you can create your own from the roster. And then finally, just a basic outro of what we've covered. But for those that don't know, Tau, one of those teams that people either love or hate. They excel at shooting. They have mass volume of fire. They have very good movement with their drones, stealth suits. All of their base weapons are very good strength. They can't fight to save themselves in close combat. They're completely useless. But they have railguns, and railguns can kill pretty much everything in the game. So this mix of volume of shooting and then very good quality railgun rifles and this movement shenanigans that they have make them a very highly competitive team, one of the top tier ones. They do pretty well at most tournaments that they go to. I've played a list similar to this. I mean, I'm not trying to just do the same list that everyone does for competitive things when I do these breakdowns. I try and give a little bit of variance. So this one I've made a little bit different, just so you can sort of see what could happen or a potential. I don't want to just copy other lists that have happened. But yeah, have a look before you. What we're going to be doing is breaking down the roster, and let's have a go. All right, the first position in the roster is taken up by this bad boy, which is the recon drone. Now the recon drone is the best drone that exists as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it has the burst cannon, which has it's assault 4 weapon, which is cool. So heaps of rapid fire. It has 2 wounds. It's tough, has fairly decent armor. But the best thing about it is it has the ability to perform recon suit. So basically what that does is like a model within 6 of it, and this is generally a rail rifle or the fusion stealth suit, doesn't get a penalty to models being concealed that they shoot at, and also to the injury roll from the concealment. So this makes the recon drone amazing when coupled with these heavy weapons. The next 6 positions, and I won't grab all of them up here individually, but we can have a look if they don't all fall over like Reeties, is taken up by gun drones. So gun drones are really the staple of the Tau force. Gun drones, they can fly. They have, if you have a look, which means basically they can go over all terrain, no dramas. So each of them has 2 guns as well, and each of these guns has 2 shots. So the amount of shots that you can get out of this team is quite amazing, really. Like it's right up there. And gun drones really are one of the best units in the game. They can also be used to save your protocol, any of your fire warriors, your stealth suits, your pathfinder gunners. All they need to do is be within 3 of the person that they want to save, and it could be, you can leave it right to the wound roll, and these things can jump in front of them and die instead of one of your more valuable units. So having these around is amazing. The next positions within this kill team roster are taken up by stealth suits. So we have 3 stealth suits. The first one is a chasse ouvrier, or whatever they're bloody called. I don't know what they're called. But this one has the fusion gun, as you can see here. Now the fusion gun is really powerful. Only has 1 shot, but does D6 damage, minus 4 AP. Very, very strong. It's a fusion blaster, sorry, and an 8 strength. So if this thing hits something, it's days over, basically. And if you're within half range, you get to roll 2 damage dice, so 2d6, and then choose the highest one as well, which is great. Stealth suits also all have camouflage cloaks, so they're all -1 to hit. Another thing you can do with the stealth suits is you can drop them behind enemy lines, so up to 3 of them. So you can see here this roster has the 3 if you wanted to use the 3 stealth suits, and they can be dropped behind enemy lines, making them very powerful. Now these other 2 stealth suits are just normal ones with burst cannons. So this is the same weapon that the recon drone has, assault 4 weapon. And these 2 are specialists. So we've got 1 heavy specialist and 1 comm specialist. So that's those. And the stealth suits, they're always pretty fun to use. I mean, as I'll go over later with the actual lists and the builds, you'll see that, you know, the most optimal builds don't include the stealth suits, but you can still make competitive builds with them. You've just got to be brave enough to use them. Now, the next thing is our gunners. So we have 5 gunners here, and 3 of these are rail rifles, which I'll show you here. Love these models, love the rail rifles. Now, rail rifles, you know, these are really good. I mean, not many teams can take 3 guns that are as good as these rail rifles. So this makes them amazing. I don't think any tower player worth their salt is not going to take all 3 of these in most lists that they take, unless you're fighting some epic horde, which you don't really need, you know, high AP, high damage weapons for, you know. But these rail rifles are something special. Now, if you have a look here, I've also included 2 ion guns. So not many people use these ion rifles. But what I will explain to you in the lists that are coming up is they are cheaper at 10 points. So than your rail rifles, which are 12. So you can fit them into more tighter lists, like say ones with the stealth suits and stuff. And I'll explain that as we go along. But I have included 2 ion rifles, here, and just like these rail guns, they have a demolition and a sniper specialist. These 2 also have a demolition and a sniper specialist to counter that. So for variant lists, which brings us to our next unit, which is our DS8 tactical support turret. Now, this one I have taken with the smart missile system. It's cheap, 5-point model. Now, the very good thing about this is it can do indirect fire. It gets 4 shots. It pretty much has the entire board as its range of fire. You need a 60 hit, but with Sasui Sept, whatever it's called, that piece of shit name, what you can do is you can reroll 1s as well. So that also applies to this. So with this turret, you're able to try and headshot leaders, special gunners, anyone hidden behind things is not safe from this smart missile system. Now, this brings us to the fire warrior section, and remember that this support turret needs a fire warrior near it to be able to work, and it does disappear if it goes out of range. One of these guys goes out of range too. So your first guy you have is your comm specialist. So I've just got a standard fire warrior comm specialist here. Nothing special about that. And pretty cool model though, looks good. And our other fire warrior is our main man. Here's our Shisui leader. So this is our leader specialist. About the only one I've kept the shoulder pad on. He's got his little grenade there. He's looking pretty groovy. Okay, so the last 2 models in this team, which we haven't gone over, are just Pathfinders. So we have a Pathfinder Shisui, which is the champion variant, I guess you'd say. Now this guy is a comm specialist, so he goes counter with the Fire Warrior one, and I swap them between lists as per needed. This one's worth 7 points, that one's worth 8. Just depends. If I've got the tactical turret with me, I usually take this one. Otherwise, I'll generally take this one because it's cheaper. And we just have, to round out the list, a normal Pathfinder. And he is 6 points, and he is the only 6-point model in this team. And you find that sometimes when you build a list, this is the only thing that'll fit into it, a normal Pathfinder. So he's just on there to round out the list of all those situations where you might be 1 point short on your list and you just need a 6-point model to fill in it. This is the guy. So this is the roster. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to go into the individual lists that you could use in a build. Okay, just a brief look at what our actual sept tenet is, so our sub-faction, and it is the Sarsia sept. I think I said it wrong before, so I do apologise about that. But the Sarsia sept, I find, is the most useful of the sept tenets that the Tau have available to them. Now, it gives them +1 leadership, which is really good for a low leadership team. It can keep you in there when you really need it. But the most important thing is you can re-roll all shooting attacks hit rolls of 1. So that makes it super powerful. So that's in all phases too. So, that's in Overwatch and that's in the shooting phase. So this, in my opinion, is stronger than the other one that people use, which is the Tau sept. The Tau sept normally lets you roll a 5 or a 6 on Overwatch, but the Sarsia sept I find is just far more useful. The leadership bonus coupled with rerolling every 1 makes it really powerful. And that brings us on to our first list. Now, our first list that I have down here, I'm going to call the bread and butter list. Now, this list is probably the one that you're going to use, I don't know, like 60% of the time, I'm going to say. I played competitively quite a bit with these, and this is the list that I ended up using the most. And I'll go through that now. So you have, it's 100 point, remember this is Australia, so we're using 100 point standard. So I do apologise to my more up-to-date international friends that are watching this. So you've got the recon drone, which we've already gone through. You have the full complement of 6 gun drones. You have the full complement of 3 rail rifles. You have a fire warrior leader, so Shisui, and you have a Pathfinder Shisui who's a comm specialist. Now, the idea with this list is you can pretty much take on all comers with this list. If there was going to be a take all comers list, this is probably it. Now, the main focus of this team is these 3 guys here. So these 3 guys are going to be getting the majority of your kills, unless you're fighting more hordes and lower, low save models where the drones will get a lot of the kills, you will find. But the idea here is we can boost these as high as we can. So, for example, you have a sniper and a demo specialist. The sniper specialist, you can give him the sniper special ability for 1 CP, which gives him +1 to hit. You can then use the comms bonus to give him another +1 to hit. And if you really want to be special and really annoying to your opponent, give him the recon bonus. That means that he doesn't get the hit penalty to concealed models, and he doesn't get the injury roll penalty to concealed models, which makes Mr. Sniper Specialist one of the best models in the game. Now, while they're all doing this craziness, everyone's boosting everyone else, you want to keep 1 or 2 of these gun drones back with your gun line to help protect these guys. When they're charged, they can give greater good bonuses. When they're going to get killed, they can use savior protocols and save these valuable miniatures. And these 3 are the most valuable miniatures in your team. But the others will all be out there getting objectives. All of those movement objectives, all those primary positional objectives, these are you guys. They're going to be doing it. These guys can hold the back ones. This is a very strong list. List variant 2, I'm going to call our smart missile turret variant. It's pretty much the same as the last list variant, but with this one, which is switching out a couple of things. And what that is we have 1 less drone. So now we have 5 gun drones. We have the recon still. And you'll see here that we now have the fire warrior comm specialist. So we've got the fire warrior comm specialist. We've got the fire warrior Shisui leader, but we have the smart missile system now. And also still the 3 rail rifles. Now, the idea with this team is you might be thinking, okay, they have a really weak leader and I want to take him out with this turret. You might be fighting orcs with a goblin leader. You might be fighting Azurani with a guardian leader. Anything that's weak, this thing can take out. It has 4 shots, rerolls ones. Remember, you need 6s to hit, but 4 shots every turn, rerolling ones. You're going to be hitting something within turn 1 or 2, guaranteed. And it's a 5 strength weapon. It's quite powerful. Your chances of killing something are pretty high with this. So anything that's sort of buried in there, like a tick, like one of the enemy gunners, might be lightly armored, like a, say you're playing like a Astra Militarum team or something, maybe one of their plasmas you want to take out with this. Yeah, this is basically just a variant of the first list, but just including the turret. And you've just sacrificed a drone and switched around a couple of models to make that happen. This comes out at 99 points, this team. And keep in mind, you do have the sniper and demo specialists as well within the railguns. Now, list variant 1 and 2, so this one and the one I showed you previously, are going to be your main go-tos. These lists you're going to be using 80-90% of the time. This is really the guts of the Tau force is what you're seeing here and what you saw in list variant 1. Let's go on with the others though. List variant 3 is a little bit interesting. Okay, I'm going to call this our stealth suit drop team. And by that I mean, you can see this list has changed around quite dramatically from those other two. Now the other two, as I said, you're going to be using most of the time. These are just like little things added in there to try out, see if you can make them work. I have mixed results with them, so see how you're going. Please let me know. Now we have the main focus of this kill team is the 2 stealth suits. So we have the Fusion Chasseur stealth suit, and we also have the Comms burst cannon stealth suit as well. So these 2 guys are kind of making up the main part of our team. Now the third model that goes with them, and when I say with them, when we do the back strike, so we use the CP recon drops with these, you can use up to 3, so it can be drones and stealth suits. So the recon drone goes with them. Now there's a reason for this. The recon drone has that beautiful bonus of the recon suit. So basically what that does is that you don't get a penalty to concealed targets, and you also don't get a penalty to your injury roll. So the idea here is that the recon and these 2 guys drop behind enemy lines and sniper or headshot their best model, either their leader or something really powerful. So the guy with the fusion, this little fella here, now he gets boosted by not only the comms bonus there, but he also gets boosted by the recon. So that makes his fusion blaster very powerful, and you can get it within 5 inches of whatever enemy you want turn 1. Very powerful. So this is sort of like it's a drop team, basically designed to just go in and headshot people within turn 1. And if that thing hits, there's not much that's going to survive. Within that range, you can even re-roll. You can roll 2 dice for your damage and pick the highest one. It does d6 damage, strength 8, minus 4 AP. So all you got to do is hit, basically, and they're dead. So that's what that little kill team is there. This is complemented by the 3 recon drones, and you've got your normal Chasseur leader fire warrior. And this is one of the variants where I've gone for these guys, so the ion blasters. And what I thought with this is these guys, you take one of these drones, put it with them. These guys can work as a pair. They're sniper and demo specialists, and it's still a decent gun. At 10 points, these fit into the list. Now you could easily swap these 2 guys out with another one of these. But the way I've designed this list is I want the recon drone to go with it to give that fusion blaster, that headshot ability in turn 1 and subsequent turns. And it's also can absorb damage too with 2 wounds. It's quite tough. So these little ion blaster dudes, they're basically just there for more range support. And ultimately, they're not bad. You know what I mean? You can, within half range, you can do 2 shots. They're strong. They, if you overcharge them, they can do 2 damage. So, don't write these off. For the points cost, and 2 of them, it's quite good, and it fits snugly into this little tight list that we've got going on here. Okay, list variant 4. Now this one, I'm just going for bodies, and I'm going for volume of fire. So I'm going to call this one now Horde Killer, right? So anything facing orcs, facing Nid Swarm, things like that, Kroot, anything like that. This could work. This could be not a bad option for you. Now you see here we've got the smart missile turret, so we can headshot any weak leaders, and we can also give range support. We have the 2 fire warriors, being the comm specialist and the leader, the Chasseur leader, as per usual. We have 6 gun drones, full complement of gun drones. We have a ion blaster, this guy here, who is a sniper specialist. And finally, rounding out the team, we have this stealth suit, which is a heavy specialist. Okay, so this gives us a little bit of love here because the heavy specialist with his special ability can make it so he has 5 shots. Now you have the comms guy there that can bonuses, you've got the recon guy there that can give bonuses, or you can bonus the ion guy. Now this could work well against something like Necrons as well, because everything in here is damage 1 weapons, but lots of volume of fire, which is what you need to take down Necrons. You really need stuff. Like particularly, one thing I'm going to say about the ion guns is they are quite good against Necrons. -1 AP, they've got a good strength, and they only do 1 damage if they're not overcharged. So, you know, all of these weapons here can work quite well against something like Necrons or a Horde team, where you need lots of volume of fire to take things down. Because, you know, all of these guns, minimum strength here is 5 on a gun. So, you know, your wound rolls are pretty good. You're going to be hitting on 3s most of the time. With wounds, you just got to hit attacks. And then to hit the attacks with this list, what we're going for is just pure volume of fire, nothing fancy. Okay, so it's just another variant that you could potentially use for any hordes that you encountered. And, you know, you do have this ability to drop this guy and a couple of drones in behind enemy lines as well and get those early kills and break up the enemy, you know, while the tactical support turret's providing fire, and everything else is getting, you know, bonuses, and this guy's sniping guys. So, you know, it's got a bit of, you know, it's a bit variable, this team. This one can work. You know, I wouldn't normally take it over teams 1 or 2, but I'm just showing you something that's a potential. List variant 5 is a little bit left of field. I'm going to call this one our flyboy squad. So basically everything here flies except for the leader, who you can just leave at the back of the line, basically. Keep him out of harm's way. Now, the idea with this is you can hot drop any of this stuff. So you can use a mixture of drones and suits, but you have the full complement of suits. So you have 3 stealth suits. One is a heavy specialist, one is a comm specialist. We have the leader, obviously. You are one specialist down in this list. It's just how it rolls, like from what I've designed as a roster. You've got 3 gun drones and the recon drone. So you really got a lot of movement options with this force. So say you're fighting something like Harlequins. This could be a good team. Because these guys can move anywhere. They can match the Harlequins with their flip belts. They can move wherever they want. They've all got good volume of fire, which is what you need to kill Harlequins. Yeah, and you know, most of the things these guys can do I've already explained, but just remember those hot drops and all the bonuses going on to, if the enemy have anything big, then this guy is your main hitting weapon. He's like really your only, you know, high AP weapon. You know what I mean? So fusion blasters, he's your killer basically of big things. So you need to keep him alive. That's why you keep drones near him, and you boost him with your comms and you boost him with your recon to make this guy just kill a gorilla. And that's list variant 5. So there you have a typical Tau kill team roster that you can use for competitive play. Now this roster, as you can see how I've designed it, there's plenty other variants that you could play around with within that roster build itself. Now, is this the best roster in the world? Probably not. But hey, does it work? Yeah. And is it competitive? Yes. I think this can really work strong, particularly those first 2 list variants are going to be your bread and butter teams within a competition, and those other ones are really there just for special situations and to throw a spanner in the works on the enemy. Now, please, if you like this video, please think about liking, commenting, you know, subscribing to our channel if you haven't. I know you guys like Tau content. I look at our videos. Our Tau videos are the ones that are powering the most and are the most searched as well within our channel. So I'm giving you this Tau video because this is what you guys obviously like. I hope you like these roster series and breakdowns that I do. If you'd like to consider becoming a Patreon, have a look at that below. We're only a new channel. We've only been around for a few months, so we're still building our subscriber base, but I do promise bigger things in the future. But yeah, I mean, I hope you like the Tau. I love playing the Tau myself. They're really cool. I mean, you know, they got a bit of a bad rep. Everyone thinks that they're some overpowered crazy killing team that you can't beat, but that's not the truth. I mean, they have a lot of weaknesses. I mean, have a look at all the recent tournaments lately. You don't see Tau winning them. You don't even see many people playing them, which is unusual, unless that's some gentleman's code or some shit, where it's like, oh, we can't play Tau, Just be a better player. If you, play against Tau more, that's the best way to know how to play against them and how to win against them, is just to keep playing them. They have a lot of cracks in their armor, but overall, a very strong and competitive kill team, and that's why I love them too. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please let me know below. I'd love to have a chat about it and talk to you. You got any different ideas on this team? As I said before, I'm not trying to build the ultimate team. I'm just trying to build something a little bit different, which mixes a few of the elements. It's not just all, gun drones. It's just not just drone spam. I'm trying to bring out something here which is a little bit different than other people have created. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. My name is Lucious, and this is WarHQ, and we're signing out.